Many once thought that the realm of Hysh would be immune to the dark gods and the shadows they spread. But now, as the wailing of once devoured elf souls scream through the narrow passageways of mountains, they know that something wicked this way comes. Today, I am kitbashing and painting up the first of my SLAANESH corrupted Lumineth army for Age of Sigmar. We're starting with the second in command, Barbados, the Wicked Wind. Once you ignore that his name is a Genshin Impact reference, we start with the Sevireth model for the Lumineth Realm Wards and try to give him a harp from the Infernal Enraptress from SLAANESH. That is the crux of this kitbash. I start by building Sevireth to the instructions other than his wind swirl, and try to figure out how to put the harp in his hands. I start with his arms out, and seeing if I can have it off to the side with one arm, but realize it will be easier if it's across his body and both hands are playing it. Barbados is a demon of SLAANESH. So while he looks a lot like Sevireth the Wind Spirit, he is in fact more mimicking its form, as it is one of the elves consumed by SLAANESH, reborn into demonhood. This means that he is still a fox demon and has very similar features. He's also mechanically going to be Sigvald in my Heathen Knights of SLAANESH army, or Sevireth if I play them as Lumineth Realm Lords. In the transition from the Old World to the Age of Sigmar, SLAANESH was trapped due to his overindulgence and excess in consuming thousands, if not millions, of elven souls. In this gluttony, he was made too lethargic to defend himself, and the elf lords sprung a trap on him, which did turn many of them into gods in the new Age of Sigmar world. These elves are a mix of freed souls, now under SLAANESH's command, reborn as demons. These are my twin souls, whereas others are just elves who have fallen to his corrupting ways, like my vanguards. Because Barbados does not have Sevireth's winds, he needs a new thing to ride. At first, I wanted it to be the hand from the endless spells of SLAANESH, but unfortunately it just did not fit on the base, and it was a little too hard to pose him. So instead, I decided on the head from that. So now, as Barbados sings his ghastly song and strikes upon his harp, the screaming head of SLAANESH charges down anyone who gets in his way. At first, I was tempted to paint Barbados to look like me. A fennec fox, maybe I'd add some eyes, it would fit in with the eye symbolism of my Emperor's children. But I decided against it, mostly because I thought of the idea after I primed him and couldn't sculpt eyes onto him. So instead I'm painting him a grayish white, as something about that color is both regal and uncanny, and perfect for a demon ruler of corrupted elves. Next it was time to paint on all his straps and the flesh of his harp. And of course the straps are also flesh. Why wouldn't they be? You also may have noticed the crescent of the harp broke off at some point, and it really wouldn't stick on. So I tried putting it in front of the harp for a bit, but eventually I end with it being on his back where the quiver once was, to kind of add some extra flair to what seemed kind of empty to me. What is SLAANESH without pink and purple? Nothing. They're the best colors. Even if you don't worship SLAANESH like I do, they're the best colors. Tzeentch has pink guys. That's how good they are. So his armor matches. To do this particular purple, I start with a layer of Cacophony purple, the best purple. It already worships Slaanesh. I then put on a wash of Druchii Violet to really make it richer and fill in all those little cloud cracks in the armor, and I highlight back up on the flat planes with Cacophony purple. It's a very simple recipe. For the metallics, I wanted to try a true metallic metal. And by that I don't mean in metallic paint, but the actual technique of using true metallic paints to build up a metallic in the same way you would with non-metallic metal. This gives you results that are much richer and realistic because you can control where the shine is. So to start my gold true metallic metal, I put on a bronze base coat. And I liked it so much, I abandoned the original idea and just painted it all bronze, because it contrasted so well with the white and purple. So I actually really have to lock in if I want to get this video out in time, so I'm just going to point at the parts that I'm going to paint and how I'm going to paint them, and get it done. And then you'll see the final result right after this. But for this cloth, I want kind of an eggshell color, and then the trim will be red because I want all the tassels to be red that are hanging off of it. The strings are going to be kind of like a meaty guts color, as well as some of that coming out of here, because it looks like it has a bit more of a meaty texture than I first thought. And the horns are going to be horn color, and I think the eyes might be red too. And then the mount is going to be kind of like a maroon, magenta, pink. Not like the bright kind of pale pink, but I want something bold. But yeah, that's pretty much it, as well as some additional cleanup, and I'm going to make some like bloody stringy bits coming off of here to kind of cover the weird shape of it. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the grand reveal. Thank you again, everyone, so much for watching. My name is Adristea, and this was a wonderful time, and it was so exciting to finally get this out to you. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and check me out on Twitch when I stream. Goodbye.